Edition of Smarknado. I'm your host, Eric Druckman. With me, as always, the Danaconda, Dirty Dan Sesnett. Dan, how's it going? Long sigh, as always. What's up?
Oh, life just kicking me down and then keeping me down as much as possible. But that's besides the point. I could be CM Punk, I guess is the better version of that. My life could be
Yeah. At
him.
least you didn't tear your triceps twice and then your bicep recently in the same year. I think
This
your
guy, man.
body, at least your body is holding up for what you're doing in life, right?
I mean, I sit on my ass for 40 hours a week, so yeah. I mean, I'm
Yes,
not
your body's holding up.
holding up really well for what I do, for the amount of
Mhm.
snacks that I eat, and
Yeah.
the amount of partaking that I do in certain substances that are illegal in my state. So we won't
Yeah,
talk too
man.
much about it, but yeah, man.
Uh,
Wrestling was good in general, or okay in general this past week. I don't know what you thought, but what are we talking about this week?
I mean, I thought that the highs were really high. I thought that the lows were extremely low. You know,
What do you
um,
call a low?
just the whole Vince McMahon situation.
Yeah,
Honestly, like it's a double edged sword in that it's a positive, obviously, in the long run, in that this may bring together a very large culture change, and Vince McMahon may be brought to justice. He may
dude.
have to.
Old white guys don't get
I know
brought
you're
to
gonna. I know
justice.
you're gonna say that, but like, it's still like in the public eye, like he is looked upon completely different now. So that you can't say that there won't be some sort of impact on his life in a negative way, and rightfully so, going forward. So in that respect, I think that's a positive, but it's a
I just don't
negative
think.
in
I
what?
disagree with you because I don't think he's going to see consequences that are going to matter. He's lived his whole fucking life, bro. Like he's lived his whole life. There's no consequences that are going to affect him. Yeah, his public perception is dog shit, but there's no consequences behind this. Not that saying
But
that I
like
don't want there to be.
but he's somebody that cares a lot about his public perception. So that's going to
Correct.
break him. So I
Correct.
think
He's
that
Trump.
is a
He's
positive,
Trump.
and that like he is going to face some sort of consequences, whether it be a legal consequence or not. Like he's going to face consequences in life for this.
I
So
can't buy him doing jail time, and I can't buy him being fined enough money that'll make a difference. That's just the way I don't know, man. I watched too many episodes of Succession to believe that rich white people won't get away with whatever they want to get away with.
all
It
right, well
sucks.
this is fucking bad, and
It's bad,
it's
bad.
not like he can't get the same justice that Harvey Weinstein was served. You know,
I hope he
um,
does. I'm with
yeah.
you.
I mean,
I don't want you to think I'm disagreeing with you.
Like Harvey Weinstein is the exception to your argument about rich white men being able to do whatever the fuck they want forever. Like he actually did get put to justice, so I feel like that does hold some weight in that it not everybody is like that is rich and white is just immune from any sort of consequences legally.
Do you think, and I know we're going a little off topic, but I like the discussion, so I want to keep it going here. Do you think that Weinstein is a bigger public figure than Vince McMahon? It's debatable.
I'm gonna go ahead and say no, just because I think he's a big public figure in the Hollywood circle. Obviously, he's somebody that everyone knows there, and everyone that is very in tune with like the Hollywood lifestyle would be
Yeah,
aware of him. But he's more of a guy that was more, obviously behind the scenes. He wasn't someone that was just like out in the open.
he wasn't. He wasn't in his own
McMahon was on,
movies.
yeah, Vince
He
McMahon was
wasn't
on
in his own
national
movies.
television every single week.
Yeah,
You
Weinstein
know,
wasn't casting himself in his movies, so I get your point
right,
there. It's just it's a
right.
curiosity level to
Still,
see.
somebody that is extremely, extremely powerful
Mhm.
that was able to get taken down due to this,
Yes.
especially the Me Too movement, having
Mhm.
so much momentum at the time,
Me
which
too, speaking
carried.
out, all that stuff.
Yeah, and
I
so
think
like that being said, what we have seen transpire over the last few years with Weinstein and the Me Too and speaking out movement, don't lose hope that there could be justice against Vince McMahon.
I
Don't
hope he gets
don't
drawn and quartered. Like I do.
Yeah,
I hope that they tie him old school styles to 4 horses and let them run in opposite directions. Fuck that guy.
yeah.
I'm going to. I watched Trump wriggle out of one thing after another every 6 months, right, for years. So
He
to
doesn't,
me,
but
they're the same guy.
at the same time, Vince McMahon doesn't have like the entire Republican Party behind him, letting him get away with whatever he wanted to get away with. Trump was able to get away with all those things because he has certain people in power, like the Speaker of the House.
That's fair.
Different parts of his campaign, he had the House, he had the Senate at times. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's a different circumstance. So I don't know, man. I think that thank God it happened now that this came out. Not that I would have wished there to be any sort of prolonged era of Vince McMahon as it has been. But say this came out 10 years ago, I would be a lot more with you on he's nothing's gonna happen to him.
A little bit more bulletproof back then. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I get that. That's a fair assessment of it. I'm just very, very,
You're cynical to the situation.
very cynical, very skeptical that anything's gonna happen to this dude, man. Like, but I'm gonna pray for it. I will pray on this man's downfall. I don't care. Like, I don't feel bad about it. I just also know that my prayers often go unanswered.
Yeah.
So that's all I'll say about that.
But also, we news came out today too that two parts related to this Vince McMahon thing. First of all, Janelle Grant's lawyer stated that she's been receiving numerous number of reports from different people that want to come forward about the conduct of Vince McMahon and the overall company culture in WWE. And the other part that came out today is that, which is just a shake your head moment a bit. John Laurinaitis' lawyer is claiming that John Laurinaitis is actually a victim of Vince McMahon. Don't know how I feel about that one.
I swear to fucking God, dude. White dudes will say any old shit, like any old shit, and people will be like, "Yeah, well, no, we might believe it." No, like you were there when he took a shit on her head. I said it already. Like, no, fuck you. I hope you get drawn and quartered right next to him. Tar and feather your ass. Yes, I'm going full on fucking witch hunt.
Revolutionary War.
You want to call it a witch hunt? Let's actually witch hunt them. I will tar and feather you. I swear to God. Like, I just don't care. Like, wipe them all off the face of the fucking map, you degenerate fucks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
fired up.
It's just going to escalate more and more. It's going to be a pretty interesting next couple of months.
Bro, it's going to get way worse before it gets better.
Oh, absolutely. And if I had to predict something, Netflix with this Vince McMahon doc, I feel like it's going to continue to get pushed further and further and further because there's just going to be so much shit that's going to come out that they're going to be like, oh, wait a minute, we're actually not done yet. We have to include this fucking shit. Like,
I don't know, man.
It's going to be.
That's a tough one because all that says is that they're going to do direct damage to a property that they just purchased for a fucking $5 billion.
It's
I don't know,
an interesting conundrum.
I can't see them being like, yeah, guess what? This product that we're associated with is created by a fucking deviant. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know that they put that in there. I don't.
I mean, the production is still underway for it, and they announced just recently that it's going to be episodic. It's not going to be a documentary.
Who's producing it?
Obviously they are going forward with this Vince McMahon documentary, knowing full well of the investigation and knowing full well of their deal with WWE. So I do expect it to come out.
Okay, and I'm not expecting it to not come out. I'm just wondering who um the production company is that's doing it. Is like being made by Netflix, or is it just being aired by Netflix? I'm just curious everything that surrounds it and how willing they would be to make him look bad. That's all.
Oh, this is
Oh, it's Bill Simmons. He's the one of the executive producers.
mhm. It's
Okay.
he has to be fair with with the assessment of Vince McMahon, especially someone like Bill Simmons, who is a public figure and is respected in sports circles.
Yes.
So he can't just go out there and just paint a bullshit picture that Vince McMahon was a great guy.
Yeah, no, you can't put lipstick on this pig. No, fuck that shit.
No.
So let's actually, I mean, I was the one who continued this conversation. Obviously, I'm the culprit, but let's talk about some real wrestling. I would say it's probably for the best of to keep whatever audience we have left.
Well, first of all, the Royal Rumble happened. Before we get to the Royal Rumble, did you see the press conference after the Rumble?
I did. Paul Levesque being very effusive, obfuscating. I don't like it at all.
He just went in there with no prior preparation or thought in mind of how he was going to answer those questions. He had to have been told before going in there, you're going to get these specific questions about this scandal that just happened. And I think that it was just such a bad look for him to say that he never read the document.
It was very Vince. It was very Vince-esque.
Even if you didn't read the document, it is far more advisable to just be like, I do not want to comment on the situation at this time. Just don't commit. Don't admit stuff like that,
do you agree with me in that it was very Vince-esque? Like it was just sort of like it was a lot of bluster. I'm gonna, fuck y'all.
It's very because Vince McMahon was the king of company line, that sort of speak, So I feel like that is a habit that Triple H has established with himself as someone that is, a media figure in these press conferences. He knows the company speak. So he's going to move forward with that. He's programmed that way. Not making an excuse for him at all. Certainly he should have been more prepared for this whole thing. But yeah, I was not impressed. He could have done a much better job.
It was embarrassing.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing. But let's talk about the actual match.
No, let's talk more about the scandal. Okay, just kidding, guys. Let's talk about first of all, let's talk about the Women's Royal Rumble. I'm gonna go ahead already and just give this Women's Royal Rumble a hot dog. Yep,
that was big. It was the best match on the card.
It was definitely the best match on the card.
I don't even think it was close.
Between this Women's Royal Rumble and the first Women's Royal Rumble, it's hard for me to decide which one I like best. But for me, those are the two best ones that they've had. The first one
for me, because Asuka won, and you obviously know my affinity for Asuka. But this one was just the most perfectly laid out match. There was no surprises that weren't necessary.
No.
It was a great flow. Everything about it just really worked, the whole beginning to the end. And I'll say I loved it.
I loved it too. And from the very beginning, we get the return of Naomi, and that was a huge moment. And
they botched the filming of her entrance though, which bummed me out a little bit.
Okay.
Because her entrance is so cool that something happened where they just weren't filming right. The timing was off. So, but her in the match was incredible.
By the way, I hope she gets to use her TNA music because it's pretty fire. But I digress. But Naomi is, I'm so happy to see her back. I want her to be figured into some really, prominent storylines. I'm expecting her to be on SmackDown. I'd like her front and center with Damage Control. Let's do something. Let's get her cooking.
Her and Bailey sort of as once Bailey ends up, getting turned on, she can align with Bailey in some shape, form, or fashion.
Yeah,
I just really hope
like that can happen.
But also like to go the opposite direction of that, right? Like, I hope they don't try and pair her up with anybody, right? Like, I hope that they take her solo run in TNA, which proved that she can be the top of that division, and allow her to show that, right? Allow her to do what Sasha would have done or wanted to do when she came back. Because if Sasha's not coming back, I'm not saying that Trinity is a low rent Sasha by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, I like her more than Mercedes in a lot of ways, to be completely honest with you. So I hope that she gets the chance to shine and not get sort of lumped back into, oblivion there. She deserves it.
Absolutely. And again, she had an amazing showing. She went like around 45 minutes in the Rumble, I believe.
Something like that.
So, and then obviously the other big surprise for me, I lost my mind when Jordynne Grace came out. That was just something that, I saw a report earlier in the day that the relationship between WWE and TNA has hit a new level. And I was like, all right, there's got to be someone in the Rumble. In my mind, I was thinking to myself, I was like, what if they get Josh Alexander for the men's Rumble? Like, how would people react? And
I expected somebody from TNA. Once the women's Rumble went off and Jordynne Grace showed up, I expected somebody from TNA to be in the men's Rumble too.
Right. I think that's Santino, right?
I think that was a ball drop there. No, anybody. There's a lot of talent there that could have done it realistically.
Absolutely. But let's just go back to Jordynne Grace, her coming out and her just showing that not only can she just hang with all the women in WWE, but just look like a superstar.
I have to actually agree with you so strongly that I'm disagreeing with you. She looked so much better than everybody else in that ring that it felt like she was slowing down for them to keep up with her.
Yeah.
That's how it looked to me.
Yeah, Jordynne is a special talent, and I fully expect her after this contract with TNA to be signed by WWE immediately.
It's the right move for her, and to rekindle her versus Naomi in WWE would be absolutely incredible. They had a thumper of a fucking feud in TNA.
For sure, and that's a match that I saw the rematch of just 2 days before this match, this Royal Rumble match. So it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy that these two women appeared on TNA and in WWE the same week.
Yeah. Women's wrestling, man, it's cooking in a lot of ways, bro. And if the powers that be can see it and acknowledge it and do it the right way, I'll tell you what, the sky is the limit for these divisions. They need more representation.
For sure. But yeah, I love the women's Royal Rumble. And again, another huge debut in this Rumble, Jade Cargill coming out and just looking like the superstar that she is. Just she looked great. Her spots, she looked great.
Everything about her debut was special.
Yeah.
She's a specimen. There's like, and a specimen sounds kind of like weirdly like inappropriate, but she really is. She's a physical specimen that nobody can compete with. She's China. She's Beth Phoenix. She's Awesome Kong in those sort of ways, right? Like that's what she is, and they cannot fumble this. No, because she doesn't need this, man. Like she doesn't need it. She can be a fitness model. She can just take pictures of herself and be set for life. Like she doesn't need to wrestle. So don't fumble this, man. Don't do it.
Absolutely. But great debut. I'm very curious about which brand she's going to be working with. I wonder if she's going to have a feud going into WrestleMania. Let's see it. You know what? It should be her and Nia Jax.
I was going to say, I think she eliminated Nia.
Jax been booked. Yeah.
And I think that Nia would be the perfect person to get Jade even more over as a babyface, right?
Yeah.
Like I know that Jade has always sort of been a heel, but she is a babyface to me. Um, right? Like she comes off as that heel when she was in AEW with the, that bitch show and whatnot. But at the end of the day, like she's somebody you want to cheer for just
I
because
gotta
of who she
say,
is.
rightfully so, with a lot of WWE debuts of talents from other companies, oftentimes they bring somebody in and the fans are going to cheer for them right away. So they start them out as baby faces. So I think that is the right move for Jade to begin with. But I think that once she gets settled in, you know that she's a good heel. And
Great
I
heel.
think that she can pull it off on the main
She's a
roster.
great heel. She's
Yeah.
great at both of them. She is unlike a lot. Like I know that we've said what we've said in regards to her in-ring ability, right? She is green, but she's athletic. She looks great. She
Mhm.
can talk. Like she is very similar to me, a step behind still, but very similar to me. Um, Similar to Logan Paul to me in that
In the
just
way
these
that she's
incredible
taken to wrestling so quickly.
incredible wrestling specimens. They understand the sport, the athleticism in it, but they don't need it. They do it because
Mhm.
they want to.
Right.
And I mean, I don't like Logan Paul particularly as a human being, but like he's been successful outside of the wrestling business,
Mhm.
regardless of what you think of him. So
Yeah.
to me, they have similar career trajectories, and both of them, man, sky's the limit for Jade, man. I'm super excited for her, and I know friend of the show Joe is super excited for her too.
Absolutely, man. I watched her debut at Joe's house as I looked at a Jade Cargill action figure that he has on his desk. So, pretty special moment indeed. And another person I want to put over from this match, Tiffany Stratton, just looked
Yeah,
fantastic. My God, she's gonna be a star, man. And
a
she,
wealth.
yeah, yeah. I can't wait to see her on the main roster. I feel like she's overdue. Also,
Yeah, good times, good times. It was a great Rumble match, top to bottom. It was a one of those ones that's rewatchable, and that's how you
Mhm.
know it's a good match. And like, I won't go back and watch this year's Rumble again, men's Rumble anyway. No
Yeah.
desire. It was okay, bad at best, worst really.
I mean, we'll get
I
to it, but Roman.
this
Okay.
part, go ahead.
Mhm.
This part was cool to me, and I want to bring it up because I showed it before. But like anybody that says that Cody has beef with the Elite or anything to that effect is stupid because not only did he do this for Kenny, but
Mhm.
he also did the two sweet for the Bucks. So to see that is just it warmed my heart.
He's just a
And
good
so
dude. I
I
think,
I'm a Cody mark, man. Joe, you
yeah,
win.
I
Joe,
think
you
Cody is just
finally won.
yeah. I think that's really what it is at the end of the day is like people just try to tear him down and like say that he's low key like a Republican or something like that. You know what I mean?
No
Or
way.
I've heard that before. But like I just think Cody is just somebody that at least in the wrestling realm just wants there to be peace between the companies and he just wants it to be like a healthy wrestling ecosystem between the
If
companies.
ever, if ever there was one man that could bring the two companies together, it's Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
I believe that wholeheartedly.
And I think that Cody Rhodes is somebody that TKO should be looking at too, as someone as a potential successor to Paul Levesque once he steps
Mhm.
down, because I think that Cody is somebody that understands the business, is so savvy with picking talents,
And
um,
respected.
and respected. Yeah, and he's he like in the NFL, he would be a player's coach. Everyone
Yes.
would love him.
Yep. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, and yeah, I'm just Cody's such a good dude, man. I love
Yeah,
him.
Cody's. I'm glad that Cody won. Obviously he won last by eliminating CM Punk. I think we're gonna gloss over the two other matches that happened just because, like, I don't know, they were kind of foregone conclusions, didn't you think, Roman and Logan?
Yeah. I really will say that KO reportedly wrestled with a broken foot, which is amazingly impressive.
Wow.
Um, so yet again, he proves that he is just one of the goats of this shit. every time going out. That
Absolutely.
will never get enough respect. Never.
I might after this show just watch on YouTube that. Remember him headbutting Vince McMahon a few years ago?
Oh my god.
That'd be so satisfying to watch again.
I'm gonna try and pull that video clip.
Yeah. So
That
anyway,
might be our intro video from now on if I can find
right?
it. I'm gonna hit up Tiger Style and see if they'll edit a video for me.
Oh, that would be so dope. All right. Anyway, this Royal Rumble, I know you really didn't like it. I didn't mind it. I didn't feel like it was like insulting to me. Like I thought that what happened was it was what it was. There wasn't like a lot of like crazy spots in it. Me personally, showing my age, I was feeling a bit tired by the end of it.
Same, bro. It's okay.
Yeah. But you know, there were certain moments that I really liked. I liked Braun Breaker in the match. Obviously, he took the Brock Lesnar spot.
Yeah, that's the rumor.
Yeah,
that's the rumor that but that also leads me to wonder: was Dom Mysterio going to be the one that eliminated Brock Lesnar?
I think they were gonna actually do that. Yeah, because like based on the reactions of Dom and Brock Lesnar being the commodity that he was, they wanted to put that together.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't see the vision, but you know, what do I know?
Right. We're not going to see Brock for a long time, but we're not going to like digest that right now. Let's just talk about this Rumble. Overall, you know, even watching it, I felt Punk was looking a bit slow.
He looked bad.
He didn't look good at all.
Bad. No, don't sugarcoat it. He looked bad. Like it wasn't didn't look good. He looked bad. Like for somebody that's the best in the world, quote unquote, like he looked like shit.
I think it also says a lot too. Like you got the dream spot at number 27 in this Rumble. You were in there for maybe like 20 minutes when so many other people were in there for so much longer. And I think Phil's body is just giving out on him overall.
It is.
Like he can't. I don't think he can do this anymore. And you know what? Like I would tear him to fucking shreds right now. But I'd be lying if I didn't say that the promo that he had on Monday did, you know, pull my heartstrings when he was talking about his friend who was dying of cancer. And like, you know, listen, that's a real life thing. That's a real life story. You know, I get that too. But yeah, I think Phil has to kind of reconsider things. Maybe be like an online authority figure or something. I don't know, but like I just don't think that his body is cooperating with him the way that he thought it would. And it's funny too, when he had announced that he was going to be coming back to wrestling, like my initial thought was like, how is he going to keep up with these very heavy work rate guys that are out today? People like Okada, people like, you know, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay. Like how would he ever be able to compete at that level? And I feel like the first year when he was back and he was having some really solid matches, I felt like he was kind of on his way to maybe be able to pull off those kinds of matches. There was some potential there. But then the injuries just kept happening. And I think that as a result of the injuries, his performances really started to falter too. And on top of that, like he's just even independent of the injuries, I feel like he's just really not the pure athlete that a lot of these wrestlers are today. And he
doesn't look like he's taking care of himself.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like he's training. Like, again, I don't know these things. I'm not a pro athlete, but I am a man in my 40s, and I know that your body breaks down, right? And this is not everybody is going to be Sting. Not everybody is going to be RVD, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just not going to happen. Like, and I love CM Punk, man. CM Punk, the character, the wrestler. No, okay. The wrestler, the character. I'm not talking about Phil Brooks. I'm not talking about anything else. I love him as a promo. I loved him back in the day in the ring. I love all those things. But it's time for him to admit to himself he doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah.
He doesn't have it. He's a great wrestling mind. And like Cody, I think he would be very beneficial running a promotion on his own. Say an NWA, right? Say Corgan ends up leaving the NWA and he wanted a guy like CM Punk wanted to revive it. I think he could do really good things with that, right? Or anywhere he runs any sort of promotion, but I just don't think his body's got it in him. And like you said, an authority figure, you live long enough, you see yourself become the villain as the authority, which he hated.
Yeah.
Maybe you play into that, but like inside the ring, I don't want to see it. It's not enjoyable to me anymore.
Absolutely. And yeah, we'll have to, I mean, obviously he has a feud with Drew already set for when he does come back. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll see how much more his body can put up with. But if he gets injured during this upcoming feud with Drew, like he has to hang it up, man.
Do you find the whole entire... I know we bag on AEW for being a clusterfuck at the top a lot, but right now it feels like there's a lot of jumble, not a lot of direction going into WrestleMania.
Well, I think that the CM Punk injury really threw a wrench into everything. I think that there was a lot more defined plans with the thought of him in mind, with the thought of him in mind, and with the thought of Seth Rollins in mind. I feel like that. So, yes, it is jumbled right now. But I thought
so. Assuming they didn't get hurt, which way did you think they were going? And now, which way do you think they're going?
It was going to be Seth Rollins against CM Punk for the world title, and I thought it was going to be The Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania, but now it looks like it is actually going to be Cody versus Roman. But yeah, I thought that I feel like that they've had I don't get a sense in this Triple H era that like they have no idea what they're doing. I think that they actually do have storylines made up in advance. Scripts aren't getting torn up on every show. Yes, they've had to course correct in the last few weeks because of these injuries. So maybe those plans aren't definite yet. But, I trust in what they're going to do. And I think that WrestleMania is going to deliver. Yeah.
I hope so. I hope you're right. I do. I'm skeptical. I'm always skeptical, man. I live in cynicism, but obviously I want Mania to be good. But I just think it's going to be lacking. If we don't have CM Punk and Seth Rollins, I think they're going to have trouble putting together a card that's great. And especially if it ends up with a fucking another Roman victory over.
They can't do that.
Over Cody.
They can't do it.
They can.
They cannot do that to these fans this time.
They can. They couldn't do it last time, and they did.
You are such a heel in this episode, man. Oh my god.
Should they have done it last time?
No, they shouldn't have done it last time. But like to do it this time is like you're stabbed and they're twisting the knife. It's extra cruel.
Okay. Well, I think Seth is gonna be back by the time Mania happens, from what I've seen and read. So that might be the case. But the promo between Seth and Cody, who's to say that they don't go that route?
I think it's a compelling, what do I want to say? I hate it when you just can't find the word. I think it was a compelling proposal by Seth Rollins to Cody, just, telling him that the World Heavyweight Championship is the working man's championship, that this is the title that embodies the American dream. I think that's a real nice angle to go from, but I think that ultimately Cody is going to want to go after the championship that always eluded his father.
Okay.
I think that they're gonna go back to that storyline. I think that Roman will say something or do something that's truly gonna get under Cody's skin.
Mhm.
And he's gonna have no choice but to be like, "You're on. We're going to WrestleMania." I think that it would be an incredible disservice to the fans if 2 times in a row they have Roman beat Cody. I'm not saying it's impossible, but especially after this year with everything that's happened with Vince and all that, like I think the fans deserve a bit of a reward.
A feel good. Yeah. I think that Cody does go after Roman and does ultimately win. I'm just not going to be of the mind that it's not possible that Roman goes on to win and just holds this title for fucking 1 million days,
Yeah.
give or take a
Mm-hmm.
few. So
All right, so let's talk some AEW that happened this week. First of all, Collision. Uh, First thing I do want to talk about is I thought that Yuji Nagata versus Danielson, from a historical perspective, I really, really liked it. And
yeah,
I think that Yuji can still go somewhat, but
uh,
that's why I said it. That's why I said
da-
somewhat.
yeah,
He can go through the motions of a match,
yeah. No,
but
Danielson helped him greatly.
Danielson really helped him a lot. But like, I think that age has gotten to him so badly, and he has really, really slowed down a lot. And
He's
maybe
55.
maybe this should be the last run for Nagata.
He's 55. I mean, he's close. He's got to be close. But I
Tony
liked the
Schiavone
match.
called his matches on Nitro.
I liked his match. I did. I thought it was
Yeah,
good.
I thought it was too. And of course, on this show, like, I don't know, there were some things that happened. Like, I don't really understand Willie Mack challenging Eddie Kingston just because, like,
It was a proving ground match, wasn't it?
I know, but like, it's babyface versus babyface, and like, I'd rather see Willie, I don't know, going after maybe Kyle Fletcher in the Ring of Honor TV title or something.
And that's not to say he won't, but
Yeah.
I think I think a proving ground match. I think that sometimes people put too much into the proving ground matches, like make them make sense, but like they're usually just an exhibition where that I mean it's very rare that the proving ground challenger wins and gets a title shot, right? Like it doesn't happen all that often. So um the predictability of it bugs me, but overall I don't hate a babyface versus babyface in that spot
Yeah.
because it's not necessarily a storyline.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I guess just agree to disagree. I
Yeah.
just wasn't. I just didn't think it was the right guy in the right spot, and I like Willie Mack. But I'd be bearing the lead if I didn't say that this was possibly the best multi-man steel cage match I ever saw between FTR and Daniel Garcia against Buddy Matthews, Brody King, and Malachi Black, the House of Black. It was fantastic. It was great storytelling. It was escape rules only. I really like that in a multi-man like tag scenario in a cage.
It
It
makes the most sense.
makes the most sense, and breeds the most you know chance for creativity as far as
I
how you're going to
I will
strategize.
go a little I will go a little heelish because I already have been this episode, but um, I don't like being able to walk out the door as an escape from the cage. I think you should have to climb over the top.
I think I agree with that too. I agree with that too. They should get rid of the out of the door element of it. I feel like it wasn't used really too much. Really just at the end there.
Yeah.
And it played into the door being shut on Malachi Black, and I think that Garcia just looked like such a hero here in this
Every
match.
single week, that dude's becoming a bigger star.
Mm-hmm.
They were right, man. Like they kind of just like him and Swerve sort of kind of predicted it themselves, like it was going to be their year. right?
Mhm.
And they're just kind of making it happen for themselves.
Yeah, yeah, and I really like
You
the
love to
pairing
see
of
it.
FTR and Daniel Garcia together too. And if they end up becoming like a permanent 6-man team, like, maybe not permanent, but if they want to go after the 6-man tag titles at some point, I think that's a really great team to get behind.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those things where we're shoving a guy that I want to see go on a singles run into a group, but AEW is a group slash faction
Mhm.
heavy company, so it doesn't bother me at all. As long as Daniel Garcia is looking like a badass on my TV every week, I don't really care who he stands next to, I guess.
Did you hear about any of these reports of the House of Black not wanting to do any jobs?
Yeah, and Brody King was like, "Yo, y'all are fucking idiots."
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I really hope that that's not true at all, and I
I
just
mean,
hope
Brody
that
went on Twitter and said it wasn't.
we just get this elusive Malachi Black singles run that we've wanted for the last 2 years. Like, when is it going to happen? I'm just
I don't know how much longer he's signed for, but like, I don't know.
losing my patience with that, man. I mean,
I'd
there's a lot
rather,
of other
honestly,
good
man,
stuff.
I'd rather see a Brody King singles run. Brody
Nah,
King is a Brody King is a more interesting guy to me, I think.
I mean, I understand that, and I thought that he had a great run in the Continental Classic, and I enjoy Brody King's work, but I just feel like we've been starving for singles Malachi Black for so long that I'm just
Yeah.
like, give me it. I want to see this. I want to see him face the upper echelon of talent in AEW. Like I want to see Malachi Black versus MJF. I want to see Malachi Black versus Jay White. Like give us this shit. This is a guy who I truly feel has an aura that is similar to the Undertaker. And if you get the right storyline behind him and get the right booking behind him, he can really become the phenom of AEW. No
I just
question.
I agree with you. I think I don't think that it's so bad as they don't want to do jobs and are refusing to do jobs. I just think that him and Buddy are just both biding their time till they go back to WWE. I do.
Well, you
It's
know
unfortunate.
what? Like, if that's the thing. Like, and I've heard this from other people before. Like, if they're truly just biding their time, then just fucking give them their releases. Because
But
like
if they're not asking
hate,
for, if they're
I
not
hate,
flat out asking for it, then you can't
I
give them
know.
something they're not asking for. They're
I
just
just hate
fucking
seeing guys of this talent level being accessory pieces to like if Brody wants to have the singles run, that's cool. Like I like Brody and everything, but like I just a talent it does feel like to me like I don't know. Well, I'll go back to like Undertaker being like a side piece in a stable. It's weird.
but I mean he's not a side piece in the stable. I think he's the main course.
He is the main guy, but like they don't put him in matches to make him feel like the main guy.
Correct. They've
It's
always been a
weird.
trios. They've always been a trios faction, though. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I miss the house rules matches. I miss a lot of things that they don't do anymore. And maybe this year we get that. But it's crowded at the top there, man. And maybe it's just not the time right now. Maybe like
Why isn't like Malachi could be the guy to take the belt off of Orange Cassidy? And I know you love OC, but how sick
I
would
think
a Malachi Black international title reign be of him
I
just
think Roddy's
storming
going to
through
win that.
everybody? I understand. Yeah, I probably the way they're going to go with it now, but
Yeah,
still, I think that
agreed.
Malachi being the champ would be huge.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. I mean, I just want to see the best for the guy. I want to see him live up to his full potential because I
Yeah.
feel like what we've gotten in AEW compared to what our expectation was,
Mhm.
it's just not the same at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, what'd you think of Dynamite?
Overall, it didn't hook me, right? Like I wasn't like invested the whole
Mm-hmm.
way. But I like always I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that. I think the thing that the match that I probably enjoyed the most was Hangman versus Toa Leona. Honestly,
Toa is
because like
Toa has been a standout.
Toa Leona is someone that I just find to be extremely interesting. He is someone that there's no one else in AEW that really wrestles like him. He has, and compared him in the group chat to Ming. And
But yeah,
just the way that he wrestles and his presence, and he just looks like a genuinely scary human being. Um, I thought that this was a really fun match. I think that Toa has a great future, possibly as a single star sometime.
I
Um,
I like Bishop Khan too, though, man. Like that dude's got a look that is hard to deny.
true, but I just find Leona more interesting because
He's more compelling.
he's a more wild character.
He's more compelling. But as a group, as a
Yeah,
tag team, I love them. And their
yeah,
run in tag World Tag League was awesome. Like to have that experience of World Tag League was absolutely just immeasurable for them.
mm-hmm.
Immeasurable.
Yeah, and I would say that their experience in Japan, I'm sure, benefited his performance in this match against Hangman.
Yep.
Uh, yeah. Another thing I liked in this show, I like the new characters of the Bucks, Nicholas
Oh
and
my
Matthew.
god. It's
They're such
perfect.
fucking assholes, you know.
It's perfect. The Bucks are exactly what they're doing, exactly what they should be. And
Mhm,
having Brandon Cutler as like their like reporter on Twitter is absolutely amazing. Like he tweets like random ass shit about the Bucks like in a reporter way, and it's just it adds to the character. It's so good.
mhm. Yeah, so basically, the Bucks did hint at some point that they're going to take more drastic measures with Darby because Darby's mind isn't really on the Bucks right now, and his mind is on the AEW tag team titles.
Yeah.
So, but I think that Sting and Darby win the tag titles.
I do too. I do
Mhm,
too. I think Sting deserves some title run in AEW just for all he's done for the
mhm.
company. And I think that the Bucks will obviously be the ones that take it off of him at Revolution.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm so excited
Yeah,
for Revolution.
I also really liked. I thought RVD had a great performance against Swerve. Um, some of the stuff that RVD can still pull off is just mind blowing to me. First one that comes to mind is, the spot he has where he drapes the wrestler belly first over the guard rail and then goes up to the ring apron and does the spin kick to the back.
Yeah, I love that move.
Yeah, I can't believe he can still pull that off so perfectly. Um,
He's a freak of
and
nature.
he really is. He really is. And Swerve worked really well with him. I'm sure it was a fucking treat for Swerve. Uh, Growing up watching Rob Van Dam being able to wrestle in the main event of Dynamite against him. Um, but
I
yeah,
hope Rob
great.
Van Dam's at Revolution because I'm gonna try and smoke a blunt with him.
You and probably everybody.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I'll
Mhm.
bring the weed, RVD. Yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, I
There was
would,
a,
I would, but you know what that means though? We would have to listen to Katie Forbes the whole time.
I'll just
The
bring really good weed and
Yeah,
earplugs.
and she'd
Oh
shut
my
the fuck
god.
up.
uh,
Yeah.
did you like the segment with the Acclaimed and the Bang Bang Scissor Gang?
Uh,
Are you not sold on this whole thing yet?
I mean, no, I didn't really care just because, like, I know that this isn't gonna last.
No.
Yeah, I wasn't really into it, to be
I
honest.
thought the segment was really good.
What'd you like about it?
I just like their interaction. I think that they have good chemistry together, the whole group. And I mean, obviously, you know, it's Billy Gunn and his kids, and I'm glad that Billy gets to work with his kids again. I think that that's
Mhm,
very fulfilling for him, I'd imagine. And I like the chemistry, and I like the obvious story of them clashing at some point, and I think it'll be good.
mhm. What did you think of the storyline of the CMLL wrestlers coming in and attacking Moxley?
Super excited about it. I like it.
Yeah,
I
it's
like the idea.
different.
CMLL is extremely popular, right?
Mhm.
Like is CMLL bigger or is AAA bigger?
I honestly, I don't know. I
I don't
know
know
that
either.
one. I know they're the top two. You know.
Yeah, they're the top two, and
Mhm.
I know that Drew had been to Arena Mexico and saw probably all of these guys were on
I
that
think he
show. To
saw
be honest with you,
CMLL. I think he saw all these guys. Yeah.
yeah, he saw all these guys. So
Mhm.
and I'm really excited for the partnership. It's should be good.
Yeah. On Dino, or actually on Rampage, it's going to be Hechicero versus Danielson. Actually, it's going to be on Collision. That's going to happen. Um,
Cool.
wow,
Are you sure it's on Collision?
it is on Collision. I'm looking at it right now. It's
Oh,
going to be
okay.
Hechicero versus Danielson, and then on Rampage, it's going to be the CMLO guys versus Daniels, Matt Seidel, Daddy Magic, and Angelo Parker. And then no, another big match that we have on Collision this week. Eddie Kingston defending the Continental Crown against the bounty hunter Brian Keith.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah,
I don't. I can't watch that. Who am I
yeah,
supposed to root for?
yeah. I know. Uh,
I'm
I'll root
just.
for the
Do I just
bounty
root for?
hunter.
Do I just root for a time limit draw?
I just hope both
God,
guys have fun.
I just hope that Brian Keith gets a action figure so I can make that happen at my house. My Eddie Kingston action figure versus my Brian Keith action figure.
Oh my god, I don't know this guy.
It's fine. I don't care.
Why
I
don't you
just
get a
got that.
video game system, man?
I have video game systems. Listen, I'm multifaceted.
Play
Really
them
are.
and fight forever. How about you do that?
I don't know. I doubt Brian Keith's. I'd fight forever.
You can
Fight forever
create
is
it.
not. Fight forever is not good, man.
It's not good.
It's not good.
I never ended up buying it.
Don't. I'm
You don't.
sorry. I bought it because I want to support and I love AEW, but and I tried to play it. It's not good.
I think people were convincing themselves that it was good. Trying
I
to
mean, I'll try it. I'll give it another crack at some point, but
yeah.
when I played it, I was not a big fan.
Is it the gameplay?
Something about it's just not clicking, man. It just the gameplay wasn't great. It was not bad. It just like
You
it
got to
wasn't
get
what I
on
hoped it would be.
WWE. Dan, you got to get on WWE 2K. Just like play through it. You'll get used to the controls. It's a lot of fucking fun.
I know.
Trust me. I could be your sensei.
Okay, Sensei.
I destroy people in that game.
Okay.
I was destroying people I was destroying people online the other day as Conrad Thompson, and people were getting really upset.
You were destroying people online. I was about to say, how many 12-year-old nerds beat your ass in their mom's basement every day?
Somebody chose Otis, so I chose Conrad Thompson, and I just fucking mopped the floor, and it was so fun to watch.
I wonder if those games are on PlayStation Plus, if I have to buy them.
Oh yeah. I mean, oh yeah. That's I don't know.
Oh, look.
You gotta see what the free games are every month. So
I'll take a look. I think my PlayStation Plus account got closed down too, though. But I'll look into it because I do want to play it.
Very briefly before we go, though, the new AEW rankings did come out. It's really just a top five. The men's top five: Swerve number one, Page number two, Copeland number three, Mox number four, Roddy Strong number five. I guess Swerve and Hangman, they're both undefeated. It probably is going against what opponents they beat. So is what it is. Women's championship. Number one, Deonna Purrazzo. Number two, Thunder Rosa. Karashita, Sky Blue, Mariah May, number five. Leads me to believe that I think that Thunder Rosa is going to go after Julia Hart, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, this I'll be honest, man. I love Julia Hart. This TBS championship run has not hit the way that I thought it would.
I feel like it hasn't hit because they've been very quiet with her over the last month. Like they haven't really put her in anything meaningful. Like, yeah, they paired her up with Sky Blue, but like the pairing of her and Sky Blue should have been in conjunction with her defending that championship, you know? So I feel like they just kind of lost direction with respect to Julia being the champ. But yeah, and then the tag team championships contenders are right there too, and it's like you have two real tag teams that are there on the tag team rankings between Silver and Reynolds and Private Party, and my only hope within the next few months is that they really have a revival of tag teams in AEW, and FTR is back in there, and Top Flight is back in there, and hopefully Aussie Open is back. Yep. Dan, I think we lost your audio. Dan is having some technical difficulties, guys. All right. Anyway, guys, as always, follow us on Instagram at Smarknado, on Twitter at Smarknado1, and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on, or check out our link tree too. All great links that are there. Our What a Maneuver store. And yeah, as always, guys, stay fresh, cheese bags. Keep watching.